At 89, Robert Redford speaks about Paul Newman not to rewrite history, but to finally give words to something he long carried quietly. His reflections are calm, measured, and deeply human, shaped by distance and gratitude rather than loss or nostalgia. Redford makes it clear that their bond was never about celebrity or competition, but about trust formed in shared work and mutual respect. Fame surrounded them both, yet their friendship existed beyond it, protected from public performance. Age has given Redford the freedom to speak without guarding an image, and what emerges is not myth-making, but clarity. He remembers Newman not as an icon first, but as a man who listened, encouraged, and stayed grounded even when success made that difficult. Speaking now feels less like revelation and more like honoring a truth that deserves quiet recognition rather than spectacle. Early roots of a thoughtful artist. Robert Redford was born on August 18, 1936, in Santa Monica, California, into a household that balanced creativity and discipline. His mother nurtured his artistic curiosity, while his father provided structure and practicality. This blend shaped a young man who observed the world carefully rather than rushing into it. Growing up near Hollywood exposed him to glamour, but it never fully claimed him. Instead, Redford gravitated toward storytelling, visual composition, and emotional nuance. His education reflected this curiosity, beginning with architecture before shifting toward acting and performance. Training in New York refined his instincts and introduced him to mentors who valued restraint and depth. These early experiences shaped his later approach to both acting and directing, favoring authenticity over excess. Long before he became a symbol of American cinema, Redford was learning to listen, observe, and build meaning patiently. Rising to icon status. Redford's career gained momentum through television and smaller film roles, but his emergence as a cultural figure came in the late 1960s. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid marked a turning point, introducing audiences to a new kind of leading man. His portrayal carried charm without bravado and confidence without arrogance. This role, opposite Paul Newman, resonated because it reflected balance rather than dominance. Subsequent films reinforced his range, allowing him to move seamlessly between political drama, romance, and introspective storytelling. Redford never chased spectacle for its own sake. He gravitated toward complexity. Even as fame grew, he remained selective, guided by narrative purpose rather than visibility. His success was not built on constant reinvention, but on consistency and integrity. These qualities would later define not only his work, but the partnerships he valued most. A partnership that defined an era. When Redford worked alongside Paul Newman, something rare emerged on screen. Their chemistry felt effortless because it was rooted in mutual respect rather than rivalry. Redford recalls that Newman never tried to dominate a scene or assert hierarchy, despite being the more established star. Instead, Newman created space, encouraging collaboration and shared discovery. This approach shaped how Redford understood leadership and creative partnership. Their work together succeeded not because of star power alone, but because each trusted the other fully. Redford explains that they rarely needed lengthy explanations. Understanding came naturally through shared rhythm and instinct. Their partnership became emblematic of an era because it reflected balance, humor, and humanity. What audiences sensed intuitively was a genuine connection, one built on trust rather than performance, and that authenticity remains timeless. Lessons beyond the camera. Redford speaks of Paul Newman as someone who influenced him far beyond their professional collaborations. Newman's humility left a lasting impression, especially in an industry often shaped by ego. Despite success, Newman remained attentive, generous, and grounded. Redford observed how he treated crew members, approached challenges, and handled pressure with calm perspective. These moments mattered more than awards or headlines. Newman demonstrated that longevity comes from character as much as talent. Redford admits that watching Newman navigate fame helped him resist its more corrosive effects. Their conversations extended beyond film into life, responsibility, and values. Newman never positioned himself as a mentor, yet his actions taught powerful lessons. Redford's reflections reveal that true influence often works quietly, shaping choices over time rather than announcing itself in grand gestures. Building a broader legacy. While acting brought recognition, Redford's deeper impact emerged through his commitment to independent filmmaking. Founding the Sundance Institute allowed him to support voices often overlooked by mainstream cinema. This decision reflected values reinforced through his experiences with collaborators like Newman, who valued substance over spectacle. Sundance became a platform for authenticity, risk, and storytelling rooted in human experience. Redford's directing further demonstrated this philosophy, favoring intimacy and moral complexity over formula. Films like Ordinary People and Quiz Show revealed his sensitivity as a filmmaker willing to ask difficult questions. His work behind the camera mirrored the lessons he absorbed through collaboration. Listen first, trust others, and protect creative integrity. In many ways, Sundance stands as a continuation of the values that defined his most meaningful partnerships. Personal loss and quiet resilience. Redford's life, like his work, has been marked by moments of profound loss and reflection. Family tragedies and personal transitions shaped him deeply, reinforcing the importance of privacy and emotional honesty. These experiences taught him that success offers no immunity from grief, but it can provide perspective. Through decades of change, he remained committed to living deliberately rather than reactively. His personal life, often shielded from public view, reflected the same restraint and thoughtfulness evident in his work. These quieter chapters informed his understanding of friendship and loyalty, deepening his appreciation for relationships that endure without constant affirmation. Redford's reflections on Newman are inseparable from this perspective, shaped by a life that learned to value presence over recognition and meaning over momentum. Speaking without needing applause. Now, at this stage of life, Redford speaks freely because he no longer needs validation. His words about Paul Newman are not framed as tribute or revelation, but as acknowledgement. He recognizes how rare their bond was, forged through trust, shared craft, and mutual respect. Redford emphasizes that Newman measured success by kindness and integrity rather than acclaim. These values continue to guide how Redford understands his own legacy. Speaking now feels less like looking back and more like closing a circle, allowing truth to exist without embellishment. There is no attempt to elevate one above the other. Instead, there is balance. Redford's honesty reflects peace rather than longing, a sign that memory has matured into understanding rather than regret. A friendship that endures in meaning. The story of Robert Redford and Paul Newman is not simply about two famous actors, but about the power of genuine connection in an extraordinary environment. Their friendship endured because it was rooted in respect, generosity, and shared purpose. Redford's reflections remind us that meaningful relationships do not depend on constant presence, but on trust built over time. Even years after Newman's passing, his influence remains present in Redford's choices, values, and perspective. This bond, formed quietly and sustained without performance, stands as a testament to what endures beyond fame. At 89, Redford offers not nostalgia, but gratitude, leaving us with a portrait of friendship defined by integrity, collaboration, and the rare ability to make one another better simply by being who they were.